Hello, this is Jack from Fluency.com and welcome to this lesson on how we can use present tenses to talk about the past and also the future. Now, that might sound quite confusing, but here's a quick example. I'm playing soccer tomorrow. This is true. Tomorrow I am playing soccer. I'm using the present continuous to talk about the future. But we can also use the present simple to talk about the future and the present simple to talk about the past. So if you want to learn more about that, stick around. But first, this video is sponsored by italki. Now, italki is a platform where you can find the perfect English teacher for you. I used to teach one-to-one lessons, but I don't anymore. So that's not something I can offer to you. So what I recommend you do is click the link in the description, go to the italki platform, and have a look for a teacher who you think is going to help you. Look at their profiles, maybe take a trial lesson with somebody, and then start taking lessons online to practice your speaking, to get feedback on any mistakes that you're making, and also to find somebody who's going to help you specifically. And right now they are offering a $10 credit for anybody who signs up to their first lesson on the platform. So again, click the link in the profile and find the teacher that is going to be perfect for you and start practicing your English speaking. Okay, so back to the present tenses for the future and the past. Now, a lot of you already know about how to use the present simple. Things like, in the morning I wake up at 8 o'clock, I then catch the bus, I go to work, and etc. We talk about it, we use it to talk about our daily routine. And we use the present perfect to talk about what is happening right now. For example, right now, I am making this video for you. I am making this video for you. But again, we can use present tenses to talk about the future and the past. And when we use it to talk about the past, it is very specific. But the present continuous to talk about the future is really common. And by the end of this lesson, you're going to have a clear understanding on how to do this. I'm going to give you lots of examples. I'm going to give you the ability to practice as well. Now, I've made a couple of videos on these tenses before, and I definitely recommend at the end of this lesson checking out the one where I talk about will versus be going to versus the present continuous. And I also just want to say at this point, it's important to know that you shouldn't always be thinking about grammar rules. And in fact, it's better if you try and internalize these sentences. So at the end of the lesson, I'm going to talk about how you can do that as well. Okay, present continuous and present simple for future actions. We use the present continuous to talk about the future when we have already arranged something. So you can think about it in terms of what you write in your diary. What you write in your diary. So you might have a diary for Saturday, which says 7 o'clock, go to the gym. 3 o'clock, play football. 9 o'clock, race. Have a race. Be in a race. So you're very active. You're doing lots of sports and activities. What you can do is, what you can say is this. At 7 o'clock, I'm going to the gym. Then at 2 o'clock, I'm playing football. And at 9 o'clock, I'm running a race. We're using the present continuous here to talk about future actions, things that you have arranged, sometimes with someone, but not always. Okay, so arrangements. And think about it in terms of what you put in your diary. So somebody might ask you, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, present continuous. What are you doing tomorrow? You can say, I don't know yet. Oh, actually, I'm meeting a friend in the morning, but the afternoon is open. What do you want to do? So I'm meeting a friend in the morning. This has been arranged. You're meeting at a specific location, and also you're meeting at a specific time. Now, let's just compare that really quickly to be going to, because these two are often confused, and sometimes you can just use either one. They're quite flexible. You can say this: what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to do some housework tomorrow. In the morning, we're going to go for a walk. Now, there's a slight difference here because I'm going to do some housework, I'm going to go for a walk. This hasn't really been arranged. It's your intention to do it, but you haven't set a specific time to do it. You're not meeting somebody to do this at a specific time. I'm going to go for a walk in the morning. It's your intention, it's your plan, but there's no specific arrangement. And compare that to, I'm meeting my friend at 10 o'clock downtown. That has a specific arrangement. So there is a slight difference there. But sometimes you can use either to more or less talk about the same thing. Definitely check out that video because it's going to help you. In fact, I'll leave a link up here now. The present simple, to talk about the future, is a lot more specific. Okay? So we use this in a more specific way. This isn't an arrangement, but when something is on a timetable. Okay, so you might think it's similar to the present continuous, but there is a difference. For example, I can say, the movie starts at 7 o'clock. So let's get there at 6:30. The movie starts at 7 o'clock. This is something that is on a timetable. It's something that you cannot change. You can't call the cinema and say, is it okay if you start the movie at 7:30 instead of 7 o'clock because I'm busy? You can't do that. And that's a good way to think about when to use this. And again, at the end of the lesson, I'm going to give you a great method you can use so that you can just use these naturally and without thinking about rules. But some more examples are, we leave tomorrow at 7 o'clock because we're taking a train. The train leaves at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We leave at 7 o'clock tomorrow. You can also say we're leaving at 7 o'clock tomorrow, but to be more specific, you say we leave at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We fly at 4 o'clock. The English lesson starts at 4. The cafe opens at 7 tomorrow morning. So that's how we use the present simple to talk about future actions. And it's good to know this, especially for comprehension. You might not want to use it for those specific examples and use something else instead, but it's more accurate when you do. Having said that, it's just good to know so you can understand TV shows and when people speak. Okay, so that's how we use the present simple and present continuous for future actions, but we can also use it in the past or for the past. And this is quite specific now. I'm going to give you an example of when I found, how much was it? I think 100, maybe £250 in a wallet when I was 10. We all go to the beach and I am looking for crabs. So I have this bucket and I have a spade and I'm trying to find crabs. And I see something in a pool of water at the beach. So I go into the water and I dig out what I think is a crab and I put it into the bucket. And it wasn't a crab, it was a wallet. So I find this wallet and I look inside the wallet and it has £250 inside it. As you probably noticed, I use the present simple and the present continuous to talk about a story that happened in the past. And this is called the historical present. And it's when we talk about something or tell a story that we want to make more alive. We want to make it more vivid and engaging. And we can do that by using the present simple. Now, it's not always used when people talk about stories in the past. But I'm going to leave you a really good example of when somebody used this in a very popular TV show. So there's a video I want you to watch. It's about a minute long, and it's Chandler from Friends telling a story using the present simple and present continuous. And you'll notice a lot of the time when people use this, It's when they want attention. They want to tell a story that's funny or different or interesting. You don't use it just to say what happened yesterday. Like if somebody says, how was your day yesterday? So I wake up in the morning at 9 o'clock. I then have breakfast. And then I smell my coffee and I drink my coffee. You don't use it just to talk about everyday situations and something that happened yesterday. Instead, we use it to tell a story and to make that story interesting and engaging. And my advice to you is, again, don't force this. Don't use this in everyday life. Don't think that this is advanced English. Instead, be aware that this happens. And then when you watch TV shows, when you watch movies, and people start talking in the present about a story in the past, it won't confuse you as much. Okay, so that is how to use the present tenses, talk about the future and the past. And just in summary, the present continuous for the future is used a lot. We use this every day. We use this every day. We're going to a fantastic restaurant tonight. I'm playing football tomorrow, etc. We use this a lot for arrangements. But the present simple for the future, the cafe opens at 7 o'clock tomorrow. That one isn't as common, but it's good to know. And then the present simple and present continuous to tell stories about the past. Again, that's nowhere near as common as those about talking about the future, but it's good to know for when you watch TV shows and movies. Now, if you want to be able to internalize these types of tenses and to also know when to use them at the right time, then find sentences used in context. Context is so important. Then copy the sentences into flashcard software and then go through these flashcards. And that way you're going to get the repetition you need so that you can use these tenses freely and without thinking about grammar rules. Now, to learn more about that method, click the link in the description. And it's also going to take you to a page where you can get access to the Fluency program so that you can download over 1,000 flashcard sentences with audio and also get access to the fantastic pronunciation tutorial. So click the link in the description to learn more about that. And if you're new here, then subscribe and leave me a comment saying hi, and I'll welcome you to the channel. Now, to practice as well, leave me some examples of the present continuous and present simple for future actions. And if you want to, tell me a story using the present simple and the present continuous. So practice that one too. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you found this lesson useful, then please share it with your friends. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.